What's up? TriixstaR here. Just thought I'd bring a little update video. Yeah, I've been gone for about 6 weeks or so. A lot of stuff happened. So that's the reasoning as to why I haven't been uploading the past sort of month, the whole month of July almost. A lot of stuff was going on, real life stuff. Obviously, towards the end of June, I went to England had to go to England for a little trip to visit my dad and to visit my sister. And then going on to July, I had a lot of work to do. So I ended up not really having the time or the mental capacity, extra mental capacity in order to upload as well. But I did continue playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I did finish a couple decks and stuff like that. So I will definitely get back into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Content for sure. Let's touch on, shall we say, what these last two events were, man. Holy moly. Like, I'm obviously this started in back in May. No, not in May, in June, with the Duelist Cup event. And I was so disappointed. I think the Duelist Cup in general was an annoying event, as there are many different factors that contribute to that. But for example, here are a few of the things. It's just like there was no opportunity for newer or more casual players to do anything. Like, usually the events in Master Duel are fun and less try-hardy. The ban lists seem semi sort of thought out, but the Duelist Cup events were terrible. And as previously stated in some of my other videos, I'm not particularly competitive. Like, I prefer to play. I'd like to have fun. I look at the events as a way to have some fun, get some gems, and enjoy the game in a different sort of setting than just playing ranked. But this genuinely felt like playing ranked. And the fact that it sort of just locked off new players and casual players, it was frustrating for sure. They should have potentially had a separate event for, like, in my mind, I'm thinking a more casual event for players that essentially sort of goes, for example, like have the Diamond Plus players play Duelist Cup, having that access to that, but then also have another event for less competitive players. Because in my head, I'm thinking, you essentially, when you don't have a particularly meta relevant toxic deck, you end up in a situation where you didn't get your gems last month. Same sort of thing goes for this month. We'll get into the Xyz Cup as well, but the fact of the matter is, Konami essentially said, if you don't want to play super competitive, if you don't want to basically play ranked on steroids, you don't get gems this month. And in my head, I'm thinking they could have theoretically made a chill event and said, if you're not diamond or above, if you're not someone who wants to grind rank, you can't play in the Duelist Cup, but then instead you can play this and get your gems that way. I can't remember at what level I made it to in the first Duelist Cup. It did sort of coincide with my trip to England, so I didn't get to play all of it no matter what. But the fact of the matter is, there was no guaranteed gems. Like, normally the events are supposed to be guaranteed gems, so it was annoying. And I think they could have done a separate event, and theoretically the sweat players that wanted to like really grind rank, they could have played both. They could have finished Duelist Cup and then played the other one. Yes, they would have to have done something about the skew or the amount of gems those people got, so that it's more even, or whatever you want to call it. Like, there's possible, but in my head I'm thinking, you basically just said a big F to all the sort of more casual players, the people who don't want to grind rank and don't have super relevant meta decks. So yeah, again, sort of running into that, if they ran two events and gave people, if they ran into that and given people too many gems, it would force people to have to pick which one to play for. Like, obviously, maybe they gave slightly more to the master people, like the people who want to play really competitive, but at least you would have, as a new player or as a casual player, something to play. Also, something I noticed, which has nothing really to do with the event, but in my personal opinion, when the Duelist Cup started, the pack weight took a nosedive, dude. Like it felt like nothing good was coming from the packs at all, and it was mind-blowing, because previously it was like sure, it was taking a risk no matter what you do, but it felt a little bit better. Like you didn't very often get that, oh, you didn't get a UR, you have to, open another 10 pack. But when the event started, I felt like I personally got quite a lot of those, and it started making me think. I was like, maybe they completely just killed the pack weights or something, and it's not stopped, by the way. Like every 10 pack I'm opening, it's like taking a dice roll on if it's going to be any good or not, when before that it was pretty decent. Now in the Xyz Cup, that was even worse. Dude. Like, first off, it was sweaty again for no reason. I had thought we were over it. I was praying the new event for July would not be sweaty as hell, and they did it again. They made it sweaty for no reason, which is in and of itself horrible, because you don't want to play events to have to sweat as if you were playing ranked. But then on top of that, not everybody has a completed or even functioning Xyz deck, myself included. Like, I had to sort of grind most of the time with my Spider OTK Horus hybrid that I had put together, and it was horrible. Like, it was really bad. And you played against some people who either played against a lot of Kashtira, which is maybe why they put the event the way that they did, because the Kashtira secret pack came out. But even still, like, Kashtira is a strong deck in and of itself, and I can attest to that because I literally built one. I did not sheep it, I swear. I always wanted a Kashtira deck. Ever since I first played against it, for months, I've wanted a Kashtira deck, but I held off because I was like, I'm not going to hard craft. Eventually, they will make a secret pack, and I'll be able to save some resources. And I did, and I have a Kashtira functioning deck now. But that was going to happen regardless of the event or not. Like, I was going to build a Kashtira deck regardless, So the Xyz Cup being the way that it was, having it swarmed with Kashtira and, whatever else you had, you had some Shark, but not that many. You had some Spider OTK, but not that many. It was very sort of, you didn't really see that much Xyz, which was surprising. But then, even then, when you put a specific, you have to play Xyz in, they didn't even give you loner decks, dude. Like, how, as a new player, if you just come in, how are you going to do that? How are you going to play what, you're going to play the structure deck, the Galaxy Eye structure deck? You're not gonna last a turn. Like, it's gonna end up being, it was just, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe they put Xyz as a requirement and then didn't give anyone a loner deck. That was surprising to me. And I think they would have potentially sold more packs if, for example, there was a loner Kashtira deck, a loner, Pearly was a nightmare, another one, have those sort of as loner decks and be like, maybe not quite as strong as a normal one, but be like, yo, try them out, see if you like them. You'd be like, oh, I liked playing Kashtira, I'm gonna go get some more packs and stuff, And then I thought to myself, I was like, when I saw it was an Xyz Cup, I was like, okay, well, at least I can play Fluandereeze. Nope. I don't understand. I really don't understand how Labyrinth was allowed to go through. They have no business in an Xyz Cup. None. Labyrinth was like the second most played deck behind like Kashtira, I believe. Flu, I mean, I understand what they're thinking in the sense that Flu kind of essentially shuts down a lot of Xyz Cups. But then why is Labyrinth there? Why is Labyrinth allowed? If you want it to be that people have to play Xyz, why are some stun cards allowed and some stun cards are not? And some fucking entire... Why, then, is Labyrinth allowed? Labyrinth got to be allowed and has zero business doing anything with Xyz. They just fill either. I saw Labyrinth players genuinely not even have an extra deck, and that blows my mind. Like, how do you go ahead and say, okay, Labyrinth, you can go ahead and do it. Any other deck, some stunned cards or some stun, you know, possibilities were available as well. But then it's like, yeah, but Flu, nah. You can play stun and you can play Labyrinth, but you can't play Flu. And I'm both salty because I enjoy playing Flu, but also why? If an entire archetype of Flu was completely banned, why is not the entire archetype of Labyrinth completely banned? Doesn't make sense to me at all. And I think it's a really bad sign. Genuinely, I'm concerned. I haven't seen any leaks, and it might be my own sort of ignorance, if you want to call it that. I haven't looked up any leaks about potentially what the event will be this month. But if we get another Duelist Cup, that's now Link version or Fusion or whatever. A Fusion would be the worst, because not even I have a Fusion deck that's competent enough to play a Fusion situation. So Konami, wake up. Please stop with this Duelist Cup rubbish. Nobody wants to sweat their bollocks off, play ranked, and then sweat the, you know, absolute rocks off to go and sweat in an event. Like, we want to have fun. We want to get our gems for the month. I think I managed to level 15. I think I got to level 15 in the Xyz Cup, and at that point I was like, this isn't worth it. I think I was missing, I want to say 200, 300 gems. But the amount of frustration, and you get to that, when you get to that point, I was trying to do it late into the thing, you know, I was doing it late-ish because I only, like I said, I was working quite a bit. So I only had X amount of hours in the evening before. And I was sat there and I was trying, and I was like, my deck isn't even that strong. I'm surprised I made it to where I did. And then everybody playing Labyrinth. And I don't blame them. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, of course, if I had a working Labyrinth deck available, I would probably have used Labyrinth myself, you know? It's not the player's fault for abusing Labyrinth. It's Konami and how short-sighted they were to say, oh yeah, let's just allow everything except Flu and have how, I don't understand it, man. I'm frustrated. The thinking about it, the logic behind it is just nonsense, just absolute nonsense. This entire thing, yeah, you can see I made it to level 15. I gave up. I couldn't be bothered for the last, what was it, 200, 300, 400 gems. I couldn't. I was done. I was over it. The Xyz Cup, please, for this next event, Konami, please let it be a normal event that's fun to play, that doesn't require you to have a hyper competitive deck. Please. I'm asking nicely. This was not it. Xyz, I feel like Xyz is also like the least popular type. Like, you see a lot of Link, and outside of maybe Pendulum, Xyz is like the second least popular. You have Link and you have Fusion, and they are very, like, usually quite popular, but Xyz is kind of like, you don't see it very often, and then you see even less of Pendulum, but that's beside the point. If the next cup is Pendulum, it's over. Like, I'm done. I'm just gonna walk away and be like, all right, you guys have fun with that. I cannot be bothered. Like, straight up. Anyway, yeah, so that was my thoughts on the last two events. They were horrible. The next video coming out will be how to prioritize the decks you want to play. I think that will be the next one I make, or the next video I talk about. It's going to be a relatively long one, but yeah. Also, I'm probably going to start uploading other games that's not just Yu-Gi-Oh! Because at the moment, for example, I'm completely addicted to Once Human, completely. So if you start seeing videos that are different types or different sort of games, please don't just unsubscribe, I beg you. Give me a chance. But there are many games that I play, and I might start uploading some other stuff that is not Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically. But we will of course keep playing, keep grinding the Yu-Gi-Oh! And we'll see how things go from there. I hope you guys have had a great 6 weeks, a great summer holidays. We're moving back towards the back end of the year now, soon, spooky season and whatnot. It's going to be getting cold again. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, hope you guys have had a great summer. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and like, comment, subscribe, you know, do all that good stuff, really help push the algorithm. We appreciate that. We love it here. I'll see you guys in the next video.